Welcome to another episode of the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We just got off from being at RageCon.
They let us go.
Thanks, Vale.
We escaped.
I
Phrasing
almost made it! Welcome to another episode of Kira Says Horrible Things. Beginning of the stream that makes the entire cast and crew lose it. We just finished being at RageCon in Sparks, Nevada at the Nugget Casino and Resort. And it was an amazing oh my god. All of y'all. It was an amazing 3 days of board games and TTRPGs. And now we're here to play D&D. So maybe they'll edit that part out when it goes to YouTube.
No, that needs to stay in 100%.
He's like wheezing.
No, you're stuck with that forever, Kira.
Why?
RageCon's like, people are already signing up for next year. It's weird.
It was a stimulating event. So, tonight, we have another episode of the Prismatic Dragonfly. We're down one player tonight. Ray is not with us tonight, but they will hopefully be here next week. But we're going to go ahead and pick up from where we left off last time. We left off at a very interesting point, in my opinion. So, our intrepid group of adventurers woke up, having spent the night in Matilda's emporium, local that they met, who took them in and was going to help them on their journey to try and find this mysterious house that one of them, Sanni, had seen in a vision, where they believed that these visible, deadly creatures were going to be pouring out of. They had encountered one on the road earlier, but didn't find any of them in the city, and were hoping to stop these creatures before they became an upon waking, though, they found out that one of their party members has had a little bit of a rough night, and they ended up setting out into the city to search for this mysterious house. Along the way, they found a sort of racket being run in some of the neighborhoods where individuals would go around and sell protection services by casting different versions of the Hollow spell on houses. And eventually, their investigations led them towards this mysterious bakery that had sprung up a couple months prior that was incredibly popular. And when they got there, one of the party members decided to fire off a wand of dispel magic at the the bakery.
One of the players.
Yeah, fired it off at the bakery, causing quite a commotion as the bakery itself seemed like it had a lot of magic dispelled from it. The food turned from bright, beautiful pastries into gray, not so appetizing ones. I believe somebody lost one of their prosthetics fell off in the crowd, and some people's items were disenchanted, hopefully temporarily. And right as that happens, their party member who was not there when they woke up that morning, Sanni, reappeared out of nowhere in a bathrobe, asking Gaspard why he did. So, we're going to pick up at that exact moment outside the invisible. Just wrote this down. Thank you. No, it's Invisible Vial, but it just sounded wrong coming out of my mouth for some reason. So I had to double check my notes. Yes, no, the Invisible Vial. So we're going to start outside the Invisible Vial. This is a single-story, very wide bakery that has all sorts of beautiful colored designs on the outside. They have the entire menu on the outside. Beautiful pastries, just like painted on different shutters and portions of the portions of the building with prices next to them. There's a large crowd outside, many of which were sitting at tables and going in and out of the bakery, enjoying their treats. And the scene is very chaotic right now, as people they know that they're not under attack, that nobody is like actually hurt, but there's a lot of really pissed people cursing up a storm, helping those that were somewhat affected by the dispel magic. Many of them are throwing their food down on the ground and starting to complain for a refund, and some are even going into the bakery to complain about the quality of the food now that it has somehow changed because of this spell. It looks like some local guards are starting to show up as well at the bakery because of the level of commotion that this has attracted. And Gaspard is still standing there. I think you hid the rod. Oh yeah, the wand. You guys are still like, you're away enough at this time that nobody's really looked directly at you, but yeah, we pick up exactly where Sanni has clasped your shoulder and asked why you did that.
Why did you cast that? Oh, Sanni, good to see you.
Hi.
I mean, we've been doing little investigation, trying to find you, actually, and,
You did not ask Heta.
Heta?
The octopus?
Gander.
Pointing at her, Heta, on the shoulder there.
We asked Heta, and Heta pointed in a direction.
Mostly jiggled.
Mostly jiggled, really, frankly.
Yes, they would do that. And Sanni just looks like absolutely exhausted.
And you notice that Sanni has no gear either. Literally just a bathrobe.
Like, there's a wand, like,
Yes.
jammed in the knot, and that's about it.
Where have you been?
It has been a long night. It's on my way back to the store. Somebody had to dispel the... Just get away from here, please. We can explain later.
I like that idea.
But there are people that need help here, I feel like.
The guards are here. Let us go. Just...
Yeah, the guards love me.
In the distance, as some of the guards walk up, the three of you, well, the four of you, immediately spot Kovita from the one house that the newsboy went up to, and she is wearing full armor now, and she seems to be leading the guard response at the bakery. She's not spotted you guys. You're still at the entrance to the alley, but just FYI in the distance.
Come here, kind of motioning everybody into the alley.
Yeah,
100%,
I'll follow.
Right, is my name. Why did you do that?
Oh, so we've been doing an investigation. I've been asking questions and stuff, trying to find you, and,
Gaspard's a member of the press now.
that's to be debated, and maybe we should bring that up while the guards up. But, I mean, they're called the Invisible Vial. They're using magic. I mean, what are they trying to hide?
I think I have some idea.
Here, you want to taste this? I hold out the bit of pastry that I have left in my hand.
No.
No, it's fine. I had some.
No, I really shouldn't.
No. I watched somebody drop it, so it was fine.
What do you mean you really should not have?
There's something using that place. I don't understand all of it, but Matilda and I were
was
looking at
right.
it last night.
I did a thing!
So we should burn this place to the ground.
There are people there right now, and you made it.
Does someone
was
need to
going
lose hands?
I was going to say that we should all take a look at it when I got back to the store, or ran into you after, hopefully, my octopus showed you where I was. And now you've already cast a spell on it, and we can't just go in there and look around.
I mean, that would make it more of a spectacle, wouldn't it? I mean, there's plenty crowd people there who are probably pissed, to be frank. So, I mean...
All the guards are there. And... What are we going to do now?
Okay, so there's a creepy cult that is going around a neighborhood casting the Hallow spell on doors, and most of it's like really kind of the evil hallowed. So I was thinking we stake out in a yard and we find out who this cult is.
Tell me where one of these houses is. I can make myself. Well, it'll be fine.
I do need to be invisible.
Just kind of flap of the bathrobe, back down.
I mean, you don't look that. It looks fine.
You didn't strike me as the modest type, to be honest.
Why are you in a bathroom?
Long story. Hilda thinks that something was following us by this dust that got on our clothes. She's borrowing my robes and trying to lead it away.
Okay.
That's why she left.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's back this way. I mean, if we want to go back that way, do we want to go back that way?
Well, I mean, the homeowner that I'm concerned about isn't there anymore, so
I
I
just-
think that's fine.
I just want to see which ones they were, that's all.
Yeah, so I guess we go back to the neighborhood.
So
And
you're
then
going to
it's like,
retrace your steps exactly, but
I'll
avoid the
take a
bakery?
roundabout way, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
so it's all of these except for that one. And that
So,
person's lovely, just so you know.
just because this matters for a lot of different reasons, when you take Sanni back there and you guys retrace your steps, you can easily avoid the bakery, Kovita, everything else like that so far. But you bounced around a little bit in that neighborhood. Where specifically are you taking Sanni? Like outside the house that had the good version of Hollow on it? Any other spot?
I'd point out Kovita's, we'd probably walk by it as well.
Just like indicating that that's where the guard captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's good to know.
But specifically, just like, was there a spot?
Yeah, so our friend, Haresta,
Mm-hmm.
whose yard we're totally going to stake out. I feel like she consented to that.
Okay. But that's the house you go to?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like all of these except for that one. Do you feel the difference?
Does this look like anything I saw the night before?
So, give me a. Are you just like looking, or are you arcane, wondering about what's going on?
I
It sounds like a
think
mix of both, maybe, or
a
one.
little bit of both right now, because I'm trying to see if this connects to what I saw yesterday.
Give me a separate perception and arcana then.
Okay, perception. It's gonna be 16. Arcana. 21.
Okay. And actually, since time has passed, everybody give me a quick perception. Sorry for the group roll, but just there's a couple things that have changed, and you all were just in this area.
As of like a half hour ago.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll say that I'm looking for making sure no one's recognizing me because I got a 4.
Okay.
I got a 7.
7. Okay.
21.
21. Okay. So first up, Sanni, you are able to just kind of detect, not so much in the way that Cass can see it and everything, you still are able to see the distinct like warbling in reality that is the weave with a spell placed on it. And you can tell the houses all have the different spells on it. You can't really tell the difference between the so-called good and evil, but you can see the auras. That isn't really something that you saw last night. This house, specifically, you don't think you saw either, but 3 houses down, one house is a little bit taller than the other ones, has an extra story on it, and that house looks very familiar.
That's the one.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Everybody else, Cass, you end up noticing that while you were just here 30 minutes ago, within that 30 minutes, he apparently added some new enchantments to her house. They just seem like protection spells, but you immediately get a kind of, when you used to go to the temples in Treetop, quite often as you walk inside, you feel a very like calming wash of wards go over you. They don't hurt, it's very reassuring. It feels like sounds dampened a little bit, and it's just a feeling you associate with comfort because you're protected there. It's a holy site, and most people tend to feel some level of it whenever they go into anyone's temple, unless they worship a very horrible god. You feel that as you kind of step into the lawn area, and it wasn't there before, so you at least know that something else has been buffed up. So she might have got spooked from the conversation, could be a lot of things, but there's more magic here than there was a little bit.
Magical. So yeah, there's apparently comes through each harvest that people leave offerings to be like, please don't eat us. Except that there are people who have gone missing, and so there's these cultists or something that are going
I think I saw some last night.
Cultists.
And Sanni will point out that taller building that Kira was describing. It's like, there anything you sense about that one?
It is also evil.
You have not gone far enough down to that one because of your 60-foot range, but
Oh.
you can.
Oh, I thought it was 3 houses.
I am very curious how this one relates to the others you have seen.
It is 3 houses down, but that's more like a couple hundred feet.
That
to
makes
cross all
sense. That's how things work. Okay. I'm gonna go down to it and use another divine sense.
All right. So,
I think that's my third for today.
say what?
I think it's my third.
That
for
is your
today.
third.
So your spell goes off. Yeah, because it's all the same day, isn't it? It's so weird to keep track of time with this. So your spell goes off, and there's no hollow of either type on this house, but there is the distinct decaying signature of a house-wide spell. So you can tell that something was here very recently, but there isn't currently an active one. And you notice that the whole house is very dark, very still, and on the door there's a sign that has been crudely taped up, probably with some kind of, actually not tape, but probably some kind of sealant or something like that. And it says the house is currently closed for investigation.
So, is there any good, evil, celestial, fiend, undead?
So none of that immediately shows up around. All your compatriots show up the way that you're used to. In the alley behind, you get a faint undead signal. Like residue.
That would be.
Yeah, I relate that.
That does not surprise me at all.
Do you think wand would work?
It's probably faint because
kill. We kill. I.
No,
You or.
Matilda and I.
What did you do?
Okay, so I couldn't sleep last night, right?
Neither could I.
I
didn't kill anyone.
There were these weird lights. I went to investigate, ended up finding Matilda, okay? We talked for a while. I was helping her look at this artifact. And while we were talking, all of a sudden, the entire house changes because one of her wards goes off, yes?
Okay.
Well, the ward goes off and she says it's something about a plane walking ward, which doesn't make any sense. Why would anything be plane walking into her shop?
Okay.
So we end up in the rafters, and we're looking around, and we see there is this thing sitting on top of you. But it's not actually here. It's like, it's somewhere else, but it's projecting. So we can't do anything to it.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Well, I'd like to find out.
That's what we were doing. We were trying to find out what that was, because as long as it was manifesting, Matilda thought she could follow it with a spell.
Okay.
Wait, so
Maybe
it left the shop?
I mean, it must have at some point.
And would this thing? I mean, would it incite bad memories or great pains of loss or anything like that?
If the things we ran into are to be believed, it might have been eating dreams.
You have the nightmare about flying again?
No, actually, I didn't. But thank you. No, that was a horrible event. For science. Look, I'll lock on the door as Sandy pages, and you shoot whatever opens it, and we kill it, and we're done. I think I'm getting better at this.
But there's no magic anymore.
And it's closed for investigation, probably investigation of the dead.
The guards are gone.
The things that were here, they said they were healing while she had her fill.
Healing while she had her fill.
So the thing that, I guess, made them was eating the dreams, and they were taking the gold.
Oh, so the harvest monster is the thing that was sitting on top of Gaspard,
It
and
might
the
have been.
cultists are taking.
I haven't heard the stories of this monster.
Ghost of Orashire.
Did it look like the blobby monster that was beating up Vander?
No, it was like hunched over, and it was dark and shriveled. Had like a hand over his mouth.
Gross.
So it wasn't like a hag. But...
Maybe. I didn't really get a good look. It was dark.
Your lips taste like hag?
No, I'm just remembering a few plays.
It wasn't actually there. It was a projection.
That makes me feel so much better.
Look, I just feel like if a seed can taste like mint, most other, even projections would have some sort of taste.
Pain and agony were the only sensations going through my mind.
What I'm hearing is fake out.
I walk up to the door unless anyone stops me.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Whatever these things were, when they came out, stopped them. I tried to get some information, and we had to kill all three of them.
What they look like?
Like people, but they were all like sunken in and yellow, and there was like one of them spat, but instead of spit, it was like tar.
Okay, that's gross. Let's not go deal with that. Look, I got the piece of paper from Mummy. I've sent things off to her. We should just go, because that's gross.
No, we not just go. We need to stay here and help fix this.
But we didn't.
It doesn't matter that we didn't do it. We need to help.
People are missing.
Normally, I'm one to run away, but I don't know what this thing took from me, and I would like to find out.
It could be your dignity.
Fortunately, something I don't have.
Did you check your gold?
I didn't even think of that, and I checked my gold, and I assume
Yeah, you haven't
it
lost
looks
any
about right.
You haven't lost any physical possession.
I think I have it.
If they went to this house, you said there was nothing on this house, yes?
Nope.
This is the only one we saw them in. Everything else on this street, nothing. So if your cult is doing some kind of protection racket, whatever that is, this person did not.
So you think they're unrelated?
No, I think the cult is doing this, and if they don't
pay up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. What I'm hearing is we need to suddenly buy a house. And they'll be like, hello, you're a new resident, let us pay protection.
I have gold.
See,
I don't know how
here's
much
the
else
thing.
is worth.
They said a name. It was Daggeth. They said that she would eat her fill, and if they wanted the sweet dreams, they would have to eat well, something like that. I'm sorry.
I hate it. I don't
I
like
got like
anything
maybe an
about
hour of
that.
sleep. I'm sorry.
What was your concern with the invisible vial?
Because it's this strange place. I think one of the monsters might have said, sorry, my body right now. I'm pretty sure one of the monsters mentioned it and said something about the people here would pay, whether for protection or just to have tastier dreams.
They're fastening up their
Gross.
dreams.
Wait, so are the pastries monster food for your brain?
I don't know. I was going to take a look, and then somebody shows up and throws a wand at the place all willy-nilly.
Well, frankly, we don't want to exactly fatten anyone up, so I would say that was a good call.
Do you want this?
Not going
You don't have to eat it. Do you want to look at it?
to. Fine.
Give her the pastry.
Yeah. So yeah, half pint hands over what looks like some kind of a triangular shaped pastry. Looks like somebody had eaten about a quarter of it. It has some kind of filling inside, cream based, and it shines like it has edible glitter in it or something like that. And you get a faint like kind of lemony, sugary smell from it, but it's reads more like medicine as soon as you inhale. Doesn't read like a treat. Reads more like something that something a doctor would put together. And as you look it over, it just seems like it is of poor quality in construction as well. Very rushed putting it together.
Some sort of herb in this, but it's not the kind you cook with. It's the kind you would give somebody ill.
Yeah, it tastes like. Yeah, it definitely tastes like chemicals, like stuff I've worked with.
Mm.
So, what if one of us ate a bunch of these, tried to get the projection monster, and then we somehow captured it?
That's the problem, is it's not really here. That's the whole reason we went to go look.
Aren't they trying to summon it or something? I mean, is this...
It's like, it sounds like she's going around feeding and using, like, maybe a back door through another reality.
What was it called?
Just gonna start looking around. Is there anybody who looks remotely like what was described as the cultists to us?
Yeah, have the bodies been cleaned up?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go check.
The fight was just this way, I'll show you.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. So walking around the building, you kind of have to squeeze your way through the very narrow kind of access alleyway between this and the house next to it, but you all can get through. And as soon as you step into the other side of the alley, all of you go about 2-3 inches into really muddy, murky water out of nowhere, and you see 3 kind of mangled bodies in a pool of water. So
Mangled,
they
but
are still
how
here.
Identifiable?
they're identifiable. So they're all slumped over. Well, okay. So there's 3 bodies. One of them looks like it was pretty much disintegrated from the inside out. It is just crumpled over in a pile.
Did you do that, Sanni?
One of them has a still glimmering, like kind of invisible ice spear through its chest, and it's pinned against the wall dead. And then the other one is looks like it had something happen to it against the wall, but it's just kind of slid down against the other wall. And they're all wearing the same cultist robes that you saw from earlier. They all fit Sanni's description of being like kind of gaunt, sunken eyes, sunken cheeks, very, very thin, grayish, blackish skin, black, stained teeth, and their hair, what little remains of it, is really like wiry, fried, and like yellow kind of thing. And it's quite the scene back here now that you've stepped back into the alley.
Very good work.
I want the robes. I'm going to take the robes off of one of the cultists.
I go to another
The biggest
robe.
one.
I cast Mending and Prestidigitation to make it look like new. I am also going to take a mirror and look at it. And, so I have Sunken features, human?
Mhm.
Okay. Face, bone structure a little different, and you see as I cast, I basically change into one of their faces.
Easy
This is
enough to
more
copy.
impressive than being a cat, honestly.
As soon as
It's
I
more
see
fun,
Gaspard
too.
do that, I'm going to disguise self so I look just like him.
Wait, like Gaspard or who he copied?
Who he copied.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's your understudy. But yeah, it's easy enough. The robes are kind of gross just because of like the murky water, but otherwise they seem like they were just robes. But you can easily copy the appearance, grab the robes, and anything else that you want to do back here.
Can I investigate the body that's slumped over? Does it look like it died by tentacle?
No.
How
Yes.
lethal is
You
Sanni?
well. Okay. So you can't investigate it. Roll investigation. I will tell you something regardless of the roll, but it's just levels.
Not good. Let's see. That would be an 11.
11. It looks like half of its head is caved in by a magical blast.
Of like an eldritch.
Of an eldritch variety.
You would notice, yeah, you could tell that Sanni killed this one.
Did the tentacle do that, Sanni?
No, I did.
Do me a favor.
I was very mad at it.
Did you hear their voices by any chance?
A little.
Would you say something like this or something more like, I mean, would you, like, how would you...
I'm trying to think of how to guide it, because I don't think we actually had a good description for the voices.
Yeah, they were. I mean, the one that's talked to you the most was the third one down, the last one to die, and he
The
just
one
had
that's mostly exploded.
yes, and Sanni could guide you to that. His voice was like really like nasally and nasally. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so, I mean, if we were to go back into the
Perfect.
Invisible Vial, we might be able to work our way through it.
Except the guard is looking for these guys.
Do they know what they look like?
They know they're
I
wearing
don't think
cultist
anybody-
robes.
The robes, yes, I don't think anybody has found these bodies if they're still here.
Well, that's pretty easy. So I take my cloak and I wrap it around the robes and I make it a bright, warm, sunny color because it can change.
So something like bright and obnoxious, like most of the clothing. Here, just
Exactly,
like
to
okay.
cover, you
Yep.
know, yes, there's
Gotcha,
black
gotcha,
robes
gotcha.
underneath, but
I will do daisy yellow.
I think we can at least get into the establishment.
That's good. I think I still need to go change my clothes before we do that.
I'm going to stay dressed half pint because now we've decided we don't want to show the cultist robes, so I'm just gonna like tuck those in my bag. You want the robes, Sanni?
Would really rather not.
Doesn't smell too great, that's for damn sure.
Any of you need anything else need to get ready before we go?
Do I look like Gaspard? I just need to confirm.
wait, do you look like me
Like-
or like?
like- how you look
like
right
you
now.
look
Oh.
right now.
Very tall, but
So better looking. Okay, I'm ready.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I will be very
Plenty
quick.
tall.
But if we are going to walk into this place, and who knows what might be hiding in the basement down there, I am not going there in a bathrobe.
Oh, I don't have my gun. I have this bow and arrow, and I like pull the bow and arrow out.
What happened to your gun?
I'm having some improvements made.
I see.
If you're thinking of going to Matilda's for clothes, that is about 15-20 minutes from here. So it's up to you guys if you want to split up for that time or go
The
together.
cultists were wearing anything under the robes?
No.
I hate it.
Nice. So I'm like,
Naked
I
dead
look like
bodies.
that body.
Yes, you look like a ghoulish, gray, starved body. Yes.
I already look pretty starved, so.
Oh.
All right, let's get Sanni some clothes. We could just buy you some new clothes.
I can
Not
stake out
necessary right now. Thank
I'll stake out the invisible vial. I won't go in or anything like that, but if one approaches me, that'd be interesting.
What did you mean dust on our clothes that people are
you. There was. Said that when she was looking at the robe, there's like this dust. It's derived from ghouls, and it can be used for tracking spells.
Oh.
Do ghouls eat dreams?
I think so, but somebody might grind up a ghoul to find better prey, or maybe
put in
pray
baked
that
goods.
has upset them in some manner. Like, say, fighting a strange ghost on the road.
Well, that's why it stole my.
I mean, that was a full creature, not a ghost.
Well, you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Invisible assassin and the invisible vial.
Let's go get your supplies. Maybe Matilda will be back and we'll have answers, and then we can go break into a bakery. Maybe the guards will be gone by then. They'll be like,
Give them a little time to get the situation under control, yes.
yeah.
No, still go to there. Guys, come back. Give you any updates.
This is a better plan than we usually have, yes.
I'm actually doing a really good job. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty proud of myself. All things considered, that could have been a lot worse.
Yes, this is true.
I need for myself to know. Gaspard, I'm assuming did you model yourself after, were they all male, all the cultists?
Yes.
Beautiful. So I am in a dress with this sunken, horrid face.
No.
Okay. Yeah, okay, let's walk through town. That sounds like a good idea.
Pull the wand out. Invisible.
My spell.
Yeah, you still look the way that you want to look, but you just have invisibility cast on you.
And then Sanni just also does it to herself, like, I'll be back soon.
So you're going with them, though? Okay. So the three of you set out back to Matilda's, which is not hard to get through because you...
Hold on. We're leaving Gaspard.
He's chosen to die.
Gaspard is a hero at this
I'm sorry,
point.
Gaspard, are you going into the bakery? I'm sorry, I was
No.
distracted by ghoul dust.
I'm going to watch the investigation of the bakery from across the street.
Stay in the alley.
Yes, no, absolutely. I
I'm
mean,
going
frankly.
to stay with Gaspard as much as I want back to Matilda.
There's one problem.
What?
I'm not recognizable. However, the guard may recognize you from investigating.
But, am I really that?
I mean, you stepped out, frankly. I mean,
Did you cause the
stunning.
guard a problem?
I mean, we asked questions related to things
You
before a big
asked
fiasco
questions.
happened.
We were down the street.
Point of order as well, because during this conversation, Sanni might now notice that your armor is completely different and has beautiful seas of colors of leaves going down it, making you very noticeable.
But am I actually noticeable in this town full of flamboyant color?
Oh,
or
for
do I
sure.
just
I just
blend
wanted to
in?
point out that Sanni would catch on that you have this new armor too.
Oh, you picked it up. That looks very nice.
Oh.
It's also that the big mother figure, the matron to these 6 psycho-cultist freaks, probably also recognize.
So I can stay because I'm invisible anyway, and if the invisibility wears off, then I'll just look like Gaspard, so it's fine.
Also fine.
Or twins.
All right, guess are we going then?
Yep.
Be right behind you.
That works for me.
Okay. So you two set out back to Matilda's, and it's really easy to retrace your steps because you've explored. Sanni hasn't been all over it. You have been mostly all over Orashire at this point. Pretty easy to see major landmarks, make your way back.
I wasn't exactly building a mental map when I was running around last night.
No, and you couldn't see most of it. Gaspard and Half Pint can retrace the much easier path and the much shorter path back to the bakery. When you both get there, most of the crowd has been dispersed through one means or another at this point, and what really remains is a gaggle of guards that looks to be about 8 of them plus the captain for a total of 9. And they are, 1 or 2 of them are sitting out front at one of the tables, just armor, hand on their sword, looking around why am I here? The guard captain is inside. You can see Kovita through one of the windows, and she seems to be talking to a short dwarf in there that is dressed in baker attire. And the others are kind of milling around, two are running patrol around it, and everybody just seems to be, working at the moment. But there's no crowd. There's no. They've cleaned up all the pastries that were on the ground. Everything else like that. What do you two do while these two are walking back?
I immediately try to get into the bakery.
Okay.
I don't even tell Gaspard. I just
I
go.
wouldn't know, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just occasionally
You're
narrating
invisible right now.
This is very weird, don't you think, Half-Pint?
Oh, you're really committed to the bit of not being here.
You're starting the air, and suddenly it stops answering. You're like,
I think after 10 minutes, it would be okay, Half-Pint's never gone this long without bringing up a memory. But yeah, you disappeared.
So did you like wait till you were back, then broke off, or when did you break off?
I would have broken off as soon as I saw the building. I would
Okay.
try to get in there as quietly as I can.
Okay.
Which is not going to be very quietly. I am a half orc.
Are
But,
you,
you know.
Are you shooting for like any entrance, back door, stealth, like?
I just want to be very quiet, so I guess stealth would be my ultimate goal. I would go for whatever door looks the least protected.
Okay. And where are you going?
I'm across the street, just like
Okay.
lazily watching.
Okay. So you're just like watching from an alley.
Yeah.
Okay.
I shouldn't say lazily, nondescript. It's not like I'm just
we
like.
get it. You're nonchalant.
Yeah, exactly.
Nonchalant. Okay. And are you just like sitting there observing? Are you like actively doing anything? Are you like specifically watching Covita, looking for a specific thing, just so I kind of know?
Is there anything that wouldn't be like super like bird watching might not be a thing, but like is there a park bench somewhere that I could just like sit down?
This is in the middle of a shopping district, so as you're in this alley, to your right is a tavern that goes up like 5 stories, one of the largest buildings in the area. The bakery is across the street, and then you have your wide selection of like almost everything that you can think of. And there are people frequenting the other businesses right now, just nobody's going to the bakery. So like it'd be really easy just to walk into the tavern and get a drink or something and kind of keep an eye on it from
I
there.
will. The shops like are there vendors like peddling stuff on the outside?
Well, no, like actual buildings, like you know,
Buildings,
like yeah.
okay.
There's an alchemist over there. I think there's an alchemist, there's an armor, there's a flower shop, and there's a clothing shop, and then there's the tavern.
I think 20 to 30 minutes. I'll window shop. as I'm
Okay, so just walking around.
Yeah.
Easy enough, easy enough. But while you're doing that, just so I can have some things to go off of, why don't you go ahead and give me a performance check?
Oh no, a performance check.
From the bard.
Nat 1.
It's a 2.
For sure.
That is an 11.
Hubris. That's actually still a good roll.
Second 2.
Hubris. But yes,
Yeah,
11.
going with the
Okay.
green
So
dice.
just work, just kind of pretending that you're window shopping and then keeping an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh yes, I can definitely afford this. What is that? 350 gold? Good deal.
He gets mugged. No. Half pint. You're actually able to go in what's kind of labeled the front door because it's got a main entrance, main exit, so people kind of go in, get their goods, and come out. And despite everybody being there, it's a big entrance. They're not standing in it. You can just walk right in.
Yeah,
And,
walk right in.
Yeah. I don't know if Half Pint has ever been invisible before with the classic invisibility spell, but it seems like nobody can see you. At least it seems like everything that's on you is invisible, and as long as you don't say anything, nobody's noticed that you're there.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
you walk inside, and you're immediately struck at how beautiful it is in here, but it's very overblown, like it was a child, like it was built for children. Everything has very bold, jarring colors that don't really go with each other. It feels like it's just childish in every aspect. There's giant glass cases filled with pastries, and you can even see kind of where the dispel magic hit, because at one point of the case they're all gray, and then slowly they turn back into colors as they get to the further ends of the case. Covita is standing there kind of arguing with this dwarf. There's a couple officers patrolling around. One is actually behind the counter poking at the pastries and looking at it. And then the rest of it, you see, it leads off into a kitchen. You can see bags of flour and all kinds of stuff in there. What do you want to do?
The first thing I want to do is I want to look around and because people were mad and dropping their food everywhere. Are there any pastries that were not hit by the dispel magic that are on the ground or in the trash?
Not on the ground or in the trash. For some reason, it's all been cleared away and you don't know where it is, but there's plenty in the case near the edges that are still beautiful looking, bright pastries that are not affected on either end. You can see where this spell hit, gray color, and one of the colored ones looks fresh.
Okay. I don't want to draw attention to myself, so before being stupid and trying to pull one of those out of there, I'm going to go to the kitchen first and see if there are any in there.
You are rewarded as there's trays of them in there. So it's the second that you step back there, you kind of get hit with there was a specific chemical that your dad liked to use, and it was literally just a catalyst for a lot of the explosives, but it always smelled like really, really overly sweet cherries. And you walk in and you get hit with it in the face, like you're back in his lab. And looking over, you see it looks like just a whole bunch of turnovers with red kind of at the sides. So they could be cherry, they could be whatever. But then you see there's a lot of stuff back here that was probably slated to be taken up and sold if this didn't happen. So
Okay, is there anybody back here with me?
There's 2 people back there, an elf and a gnome, actually, and they look like they're trying to like shut the place down for the day. So you can see them like cleaning up, throwing things away, and they're both just kind of looking upset at what they're having to do. They're not talking to each other, but they're the only ones back there.
Is there a door that leads? Sorry, I have 9 million questions. Is there a door between the shop entrance here, kitchen, or is it just like an open archway?
No, well, it's got like saloon doors on it. So like swinging doors on it to back where you came from. And this is a really large area. You can see that there's a storeroom probably off to one side, and there are doors in the back too that lead out into an alley or something.
I am going. Yeah, that's what I would do. Okay, I'm gonna look at the gnome and hey, come here, and I'm gonna do it from the farthest corner in the room.
The second she said gnome, I was like,
Yeah,
no.
that was it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's try these new dice. So the gnome snaps her head up and just slowly looks around the room and then glances to her compatriot. Did you hear that? He's like, no, I didn't hear anything. It's probably just the officers talking out there. Just let's get this done so we can have an early day. And she just kind of keeps looking around and then slowly goes back to cleaning the counter that she's working on.
Gnome lady.
She jumps again and kind of puts the rag down and slowly starts to walk back there. And it doesn't even look like her coworker's paying attention to her or anything like that. But she puts her hands on her hips, wearing like a really rolled up apron, and you can see that there's like flour and like there's even some coloring on one of her arms that probably spilled. And it looks like she's been, working here for quite a while at this point. And she like walks into the corner and just looks around and goes, hello? What's going on?
I'm gonna take a turnover and stick it in my bag. So I can reach right out and grab it and stick it in my bag. Okay, listen, you seem like you're nice. So I'm just gonna ask you, do you know why all the pastries turn gray? Why are these ones okay and the ones that had dispel like?
I'm picturing this as Half Pint, like truly innocently asking this.
Truly innocently asking this.
Okay, so you don't need persuasion or anything.
Are you still invisible?
It's still invisible.
Yeah.
Very
Technically,
quiet.
this does not break invisibility. Yeah, the only thing that's going to break invisibility is attacks, technically. And then once the pastry would be like float in the air, but once it went into a bag, it would vanish. So
Perfect.
that's great. So she just stands there. You can tell the poor thing's quivering a little bit at this point. I don't know. The officers asked us as well. I don't know. It's that we thought maybe it's some of the ingredients that we use. They're exotic and they have magic in them, and maybe it was in the coloring or something. I don't know.
Where are they?
What?
The ingredients, the special ingredients.
In the storeroom, it's the glitter and everything we use to make them shiny.
I immediately take off for the storeroom. Like, not even trying to be quiet at this point.
You hear her, like, still talking in the corner, trying to get a response as you, like, boom, away.
Because I'm doing the same thing.
So window shopping, going to the back storeroom. So you both make it back to Matilda's. And when you go in, you notice that people are still inside shopping. And it seems like this place is almost designed to run without Matilda on purpose. So you notice like a father and a son with a pair of snap mittens and like a couple other things like all piled up, and they're over at one kind of like window that's in the wall, and they're able to just kind of pop the things into it one by one, and a little scroll just materializes with the cost. They dump the silver on it, and the items are released. They can walk out, and it seems like everybody in the shop is just really chill. They know how it works in here, and Matilda's like generating income and selling things while she's not there. But there are people in the shop.
Honey, why didn't you wake us up? Why didn't you wake us up when all this was going down?
Matilda wanted to follow the thing, and what if we woke Gaspard up, it might run, and we wouldn't be able to track it.
That was fair. Yeah, he was pretty shaken. But at least he's not alone now, and everything's going fine.
And then I just kind of put my hand on Cass' shoulder, say, okay, we're going this way, and kind of guide her towards where I found the stairs the night previously.
Okay. So yeah, Sanni is actually like driving you for a second, which is an odd feeling. and you don't really know what's going on until you get somewhat close to where you were sitting in the bay windows, but on the other side. And you get this kind of building feeling of like, what are you doing? But eventually, Sanni gives you a bit of a twist, and from the right angle, you see a very faint sparkling outline of a staircase that leads to the rafters hidden in a corner. And then, like, as Sanni pushes you around, like standing in front of it, it's obviously a staircase, still just the very faint outline of it, but it's there.
That explains what's up there.
Yeah, it's, said I couldn't sleep. I was looking around. I saw some weird lights in the window, followed them back, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, really nice view out that window. Yep. Oh, no, I'm like, we're walking and talking.
So you walk up and you notice that at first it feels like your foot's almost going to go through because it's only an outline, but as your foot touches it, it explodes with green light and like the whole step lights up, and it almost is like, it has a very faint like whooshing sound, very, very soft, but like I feel like Cass might be entranced by it or might enjoy it, but as you walk up, you watch the splash effect happen on each of them. And by the time you get to the top of this tall staircase up by the rafters, what's up there comes into view, and it's still kind of sparkly outlines, but you see a very large room at the top of it, and then like almost tree housing off of it, a couple other rooms. You okay? And it looks like it's almost like a treehouse up here in the rafters of Matilda's private rooms. And Sanni leads you through the main stairs into the stairs only go to one room, but into that room.
Just wait here a moment, please.
Okay. Like bright-eyed, just...
So you're just going to run into the back?
Yeah, just running into the back and just finding a change of clothes really quickly.
Okay. So Sanni dips off into a side room. What you notice is when you walk into this room, it solidifies and suddenly you're in a normal room. So there's no sparkles, there's no see-through or anything. You can't look down or anything like that. You're just in a room, a normal room in the rafters as far as you can tell. And in front of you is a big workbench packed with tools, and in a way it kind of reminds you... No, you haven't seen Half Pine's parents.
Different timeline.
Yes. But it's a workshop, but with a lot of very old tools in it. Most of the things in here seem ancient. A lot of the tools are very fine, delicate, like needles and like tweezers and very fine, like watch-working tools almost. And there's a stopwatch sitting on the table over there that a whole bunch of tools are around, really beautiful old stopwatch. There's crates of things nearby that look like they haven't even been opened yet, and it looks very lived in. Much more homely and even kind of messy than the shop and everything. So, yeah. But yeah, you're able to easily find, you saw the closets, so you know where her clothes are, so you're able to find like 2 of the closets that are in the bedroom, and you can pick anything that you want from them. So it's all of Matilda's clothes, and they're all typically very Orashire, like bright colors, robes, blouses, etc. So
We're in a hurry. Sanni's just going to find the first thing that fits.
okay, she would probably find one of the robes that are going to be near the front. That's what she wears most of the time. So you can find one of the darker blue robes, not to go as bright as she normally does if you want. But yeah, you probably just like a darker blue robe. It's going to have a lot of like the Eladrin leafing on it. But yeah, you can get suited up in that, and then...
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then Sanni's going to walk out, then walk right up to the workbench and grab that stopwatch.
Okay, yeah, you just swipe it off the table.
Okay, I'm ready.
By the watch.
We were looking at this last night. You turn it and you can see things that happened hours before.
Interesting. Okay.
Like the... Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, let's do this. And you look lovely. This looks nice.
Thank you.
Cass, roll a perception check for me. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you roll anything else. Okay.
It's okay, Sanni. Like, you seem stressed, but like everything's gonna be fine.
Very long night.
Okay. Are you guys heading back or doing anything else at Matilda's? Or
I mean, unless Cass wants to stop for anything, for supplies for any reason. Sonny doesn't want to leave these.
Yeah, I've got all of my stuff.
Okay. Cool.
And then I went down and it's like, Half-Pint, I said this looks better than your mother's craftsmanship. Oh no!
Their chaos is going to temper each other, right? Right, Sanni? Like, this was the good decision.
Sometimes when waves are very powerful, sometimes they cancel each other, and sometimes they just make each other bigger.
I'm going with canceling. I feel like that's what's going to happen here. Like, Gaspard wouldn't have let Half-Pint shoot a man's hands off, and Half-Pint wasn't going to let Gaspard just march into a murder house. Right? See, I feel you have a very pessimistic view of the world, Sanni, and we need to, like, introduce more joy into your life.
I don't need help with that.
Okay.
This is the total normal conversation.
This is an amazing conversation. I'm loving this. Well, you had like a minute or two when you were alone up there, and you've been standing up there talking with Sanni for a minute, because I actually don't assume people travel unless they're telling me they're walking. So like a lot of the times I'll just consider you guys in one spot until somebody's like, we do this or we go here. So while you were up in Matilda's like living room, best word for it, was there anything that Cass wanted to look at, do? Was she just kind of standing there and marvel, or is there anything?
Standing there in marble. Okay. Like, this is the coolest in the world.
Okay.
I mean, second coolest.
Second coolest. Nothing has it on treetop, right?
Person up.
Oh,
yeah, someone in
okay.
treetop.
Thought you said play. Cool. All right. So then you guys are gonna make your way back to the Invisible Vial.
Yeah, I don't think we have any other stops. Like I said, it was really just Sonny to make sure if Cass need anything from here before we go.
No, I have everything, so maybe let's walk with a purpose.
Yes, good idea.
Walking with a purpose, you make your way towards the Invisible Vial. But meanwhile, Half-Pint, you make it to the storeroom, and at first you're possibly disappointed at how normal it is. They have a lot of supplies back here, primarily flour, sugar, flavoring, stuff like that. But you do notice these small barrels, like, you know, somebody could easily carry maybe 2 in their arms. There's a huge pile in one corner, kind of next to the flavorings. One is open with a measuring cup in it, and there's just this gray kind of beautiful glitter that's sparkling in it.
I immediately take a handful and put it in the bag. And then, is there anything else of interest in here other than flour and sugar and this gray sparkle dust?
Investigation or perception, whatever one you want to roll.
I don't want to roll any of them because I keep rolling like 3. Natural 20. So 24.
Nice.
You just had to, remind it.
Yeah.
You were due.
Yeah, it's like, it's time. You must pay your dues. Okay, so yeah, you spend a couple more minutes looking around after taking a nice handful of this. Are you taking like a handful and just dumping it into your bag?
No, I'm trying to I'm sure I have a vial or something in my bag.
You
yeah,
do. So you're putting it in like capped vials, right? Cool. So you take as much as that as you can fit in /1. Looking around the room, though, you start to notice, in your opinion, something weird, where, yes, there's the building blocks of a lot of food in here. There's no fats. You don't see butter. And you don't see, any kind of animal fat or anything that typically would be in a pastry. And it feels like a glaring omission to you. Like, you're just like, wait, I know how food's made. Like, this doesn't make sense. So you notice that that's missing, which is the first red flag. And then the second thing that you notice is that the longer you're here, the worse this room smells. And by worse, I don't mean chemical. I mean this kind of smells like rotting flesh. Especially near the glitter.
I'm going to just stick my arm down in the glitter, make sure that I didn't hidden in the glitter like a dead body. Peek around sacks and stuff, make sure there's not a dead body. As soon as I smell like decay, that's what I'm looking for.
The second that your arm goes in, you don't find anything, but like as you disturb that quantity of it, the smell rushes up, and you can tell that it's the glitter, and you're just like, oh god, it's the smell is radiating from that.
It's in me.
Is it just a floating glitter arm now?
No, the glitter doesn't stick or anything like that. Though I am curious. There was no magic on you just besides the invisibility spell, right?
I was also disguised self.
Disguise self. That okay. So yeah, nothing happens. You don't break invisibility or anything like that, but you smell that very remarkable smell, very memorable smell. You hear everybody still cleaning.
I go back to the door. Psst, gnome lady!
You can see she's still in the corner with a hand on her head and one on her hip, and she jerks and like looks around, and you see her be like, no, I'm not gonna do it, and she walks over and like starts cleaning one of the counters again.
I get very close to her ear and I go,
she freezes. And you can just tell she kind of looks up where the voice is. One spirit.
why don't you have any fat?
They work out.
Like, because you baked too much today, or like you never have any fat?
I was chubby when I was a child.
I mean, like butter, oil, right?
Oh, in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Well, that's the property of the dust that the owner gave us. It acts as a fat and gives glitter. It's whatever berry from their homeland.
I don't think it's a berry. I think it's dead people. And then I walk out of the room.
She whirls around. She's like, dead people! And she yells it so loud, like as you're passing out, Kovita and the dwarf burst into the room. And she's like, dead people! And you can hear that they're all having a very animated conversation as beeline out.
Suddenly they have the best pies in Orashire.
Yes. And what are you just like beelining out of the shop?
Yeah, I'm gonna go find Gaspard.
Oh, okay. I'm actually gonna say Half Pint walks up with that joke of yours.
Okay.
Did I hear something about Mummy?
Why have you been so quiet?
Oh, I wasn't here at all.
We're staking it out. You weren't investigating?
Smell this. I stick my hand in front of his face.
You don't see or feel anything, but you suddenly smell horrific decay.
Why did I breathe in? What am I smelling?
Dead people, I think?
Why am I smelling dead people?
Why were they in the baked goods?
I don't know. What?
I think you need to calm down. There's like, didn't you say you didn't want to be seen by the police? You're acting very weird. They can't see me, so
Half Pint?
yeah.
What did you do?
I went in there.
And you did what?
I got some of this and I stick my hand right back out.
What is this? Because I can't see it.
So, you know the sparkly stuff that's in the pastries?
Magic?
It's not magic. It's dead people, and I stick my hand out right in front of your face again.
Stop it! I'm usually more composed than this.
You probably just look like a crazy person. It's fine. You kind of are.
Only when I'm around the blue flames. I'm sorry. We should wait until they get back. And, dead people.
But you have to promise me the gnome lady won't get hurt, 'cause she was very helpful.
What gnome lady?
I'll explain when Sanni gets here. You know how I feel about gnomes.
What a lovely dress in the window. I might buy it for my mother.
As you say that, your vision kind of adjusts, and you can see the elf shopkeeper that's been watching you this whole time staring at you through the window at their desk.
Light off like you're crazy.
I take my cloak and I like do the Dracula thing and like walk to another store.
My job here is done. You haven't done anything.
You saw nothing.
Okay. Well, after you've looked at another store or two, Sanni and Cass rejoin you from one of the alleys.
How did things go?
Oh, things went really well on my end.
Smell this.
Oh,
Oh, don't
What?
worry, it's just dead people.
I figured something had died. What? Like, do you suddenly have a decaying
Here,
limb?
smell this, Sanni.
I think I can understand enough from Cass's response. What did you find?
Dead people.
Where?
In the dust.
The dust that is where?
The glitter in the pastries?
Haven't really gotten a close look at them, but
Oh.
okay.
It's this, and I stick my hand out in front of your face.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get it as close as I
Some
can.
of the some of the pastries were sparkly. Apparently that's
Well,
dead people.
they're all sparkly.
Yeah.
And I take the turnover out and I say, here's one that's not disenchanted.
And you just
And
see
you're
a
just saying-
turnover floating in the air, but this one is, golden brown, red cherries on the sides. Looks like something out of a storybook. It just looks too perfect. And you can see this one, like, as it's baked and doesn't have a cream-based filling, it doesn't immediately have glitter in it, but as it's floating in the sunlight, you can catch glitter, like, even in the crust.
Oh, they don't use
Ghoul
fat
dust.
either. Can you
Matilda brought up the ghoul dust.
Can you replace fat with ghoul dust?
I don't know.
That's what they said they do.
They use it. Said that you could use it to track and mark people, and like our clothes had been marked. They're marking people through the pastries.
Did we all just breathe in the tracking material?
Maybe just the odor of it, hopefully not the actual.
No, I can tell you, speaking scientifically, that you inhaled some particles. They are in you. You are now part ghoul. Like a
I'm
very
not
small
going
part.
to-
At least we didn't eat the pastry.
I just took a nibble.
At least we didn't eat the pastry.
Yet.
That
I'm not
pastry's
eating.
name was Dan.
I am too tired for this.
Me too.
Well, if the two of you want to go back to sleep, how long am I invisible for, Sonny?
Usually like an hour or two a charge.
Okay.
You're getting close-ish to it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, did you unlock a door or anything like that?
The doors are all unlocked. I just walked right in. They're not very secure. I don't know what's going on with these like counties. Anyway,
See any other ways in the sides where all the guards are sitting?
there's like a back alleyway. I'm gonna go up to the window and see what I can see if there's like chaos in the front or the back or anything from where the like shop window is.
Okay. You're just like walking up to the main window looking through?
Just glancing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you walk up easily, you look inside, and it seems like the gnome is gone now, for one reason or another. The other man is also gone. It's just Kovita and this dwarf, and she's kind of helping him, like, shut the place up,
Okay.
kind of thing, and it looks like they're going to be leaving soon. So that's what you see.
If we wake, I probably just break in.
Break it now and hide before they lock up.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Everybody make a... Sorry, I need to actually check this ability. Could everybody please make a int save for me? Int check, int save, int save.
Good thing I'm so
Yeah.
smart.
I'm very smart. You said a save?
Yes.
15.
15.
20, not nat.
God.
I'm very
8.
smart.
Hi, Cass.
Excuse me.
Hi, Cass. So, so as this conversation's happening, you had Rowan speak to you at least once or twice telepathically, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're familiar with that kind of
Oh,
communication.
I've done it, yeah.
Yeah. So, what
We
did
freaked
you
out
say?
about the guard.
I'm telepathic. I've done it too.
Okay,
Everybody.
I wanted to make sure. So as you're standing there, you have that familiar kind of like everything kind of goes for a second as you're being talked to telepathically and you can't hear them for like the briefest of moments. And you hear Matilda talking to you, breathing heavily, sounding like she's moving, and you hear air whooshing kind of thing. And she's like, whoever hears this, I can keep doing this for like an hour or two. Eventually it's going to be back at the bakery. Bye.
Matilda is trying to get a hold of us.
What did she say?
Should I tell you to smell this?
Did not. She said she's eventually going to be back at the bakery. It sounded like she was maybe like running or flying or something.
Yes, that's why she has my robe. She's leading whatever that thing is around.
Yeah. She seems to be either in pursuit or out of pursuit. Being pursued. That's
yes,
the word.
that would track. Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Okay. So
So she's going to be back at the bakery. She can like hear us for like an hour. Wait, can I respond to this message? And I just like think, and I'm like, we'll meet you at the bakery.
You don't get a response, but it feels like you did say that to her.
Okay. I think maybe I got a message.
Okay. So, begin.
We don't know how long they're.
Well, Sanni and I are invisible, so why don't we go in and we'll let you guys in after you guys come out?
Well, I'm not right now because I had to see what the hell I was putting on, but I do have another charge.
There we go.
You go in and hide.
Yeah.
We'll come to the alleyway and we'll knock.
Hey, well, don't knock. Just wait for them to leave the front of the shop.
Fair enough.
We could loiter in the alley, feel like. And
I've been window
wait.
shopping for about 45 minutes now, so.
Right, so we just wait for them to
wait.
open the alley door.
Let me do my math. Because I had the wand had 5 charges. 1 originally, then on Half Pint, then on myself is 3.
Yep.
So I've got 2 more charges and my self-invisibility. So
Yes.
actually, come here, we just don't go in.
Okay.
Come here. Get the wand, just pull the wand out of like a pouch.
I gotta say, Sanni, it doesn't feel like you trust me.
It's better if we stay together right now.
I put on a dead man's robes. Why?
You probably like the smell.
I can assure you. I'm just like,
Gaspard, that
you
was
can't
not
see
fishing.
me, but like, I'm just like, I can assure you, I don't.
So you notice that when Sanni zaps you with the rod, you see everybody that's under the effect of the spell. So the second that like the spell fires, you see Half Pint.
Am I glittery?
Yeah, yeah, ever so slightly. It's a slight sheen.
I don't need to touch Dan. Let's go sneak in.
Okay. Sanni just makes herself invisible again using her own powers.
Yeah, you can't see each other, but anybody that's under the effects of the contained spell can. And then you guys are just gonna kind of walk in. Cool, easy enough. Half Pint, I assume, leading the way because
Yeah, I go into the supply closet.
Cool. Yeah, so you guys walk right in, and within 60 seconds later, they're going to be closing the doors and locking, and you hear Kovita talking to this dwarf, and she's kind of patting him on the back and just like reassuring him that, yeah, like this isn't your fault, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out, we'll catch who's responsible for this.
I look at that dwarf and I try to like memorize his face. I'm terrible with faces, but I try to. Like, I try my very best.
Okay. And try and memorize his face.
Yes.
I think that Half Pint, having done this a decent amount of times, is going to always get like a 50% approximation of most faces kind of thing, but do an intelligence check to just kind of like give an extra, like, does she remember more detail?
No,
Okay.
6 total.
Okay, so like ish dwarf, so might not get certain features right, but you can approximate the male dwarf and
Has a
everything.
beard. Okay.
Yeah, has a beard. Okay, so yeah, you guys are led into the building. They lock it up, and you are now inside the locked up Invisible Vial. Hours after it had opened for the day, sadly, they probably lost a lot of business today. And
Maybe we shouldn't sell dead people.
they shouldn't
Boo-hoo
sell
for
dead
them.
people. And Half Pint's going to lead you back to the storeroom. I think that's probably a good point to pause for a little bit and take a break. So we're going to go ahead and take just like 10-15 minute water break for the cast and all that kind of stuff, double check the tech and everything, and probably giggle about some of the great jokes were just made in that session because, oh my god. So we'll be back really, really soon, so please stick around and get some snacks. It's a Freudian response now when I am given a count off screen of you're going live in 3, 2, 1 that I start laughing uncontrollably because we've had so many funny things happen when we've gone live. So forgive me.
Freudian or Pavlovian? Are you like
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ew.
judging from the start of the session, it's both.
Excuse you. I feel attacked.
You should.
Yes, I feel attacked, so now you're going to be attacked. So, hopping right back into things, you were all able to successfully sneak into the Invisible Vial before the guard captain Kovita and the dwarf that she was with, that is kind of unknown to you all, walked out and locked the main doors. So, it's barely noon at this point, so there's a lot of light streaming in from the windows. There's no light inside the Invisible Vial, but there's plenty of windows so you can see fine. You're all invisible for the moment. Half Pint leads you through the establishment to the back where there's this giant storeroom, and that's where we're going to go ahead and pick up.
That's the dead people.
Smells like it.
And you see this pile,
This place reeks.
very, very well organized, of these beautiful dark oak kegs, ish size, that are just filled with this gray dust that reeks.
Right. I have to know what's going on here. And Sanni's going to produce the stopwatch.
Seriously? Shit. Okay.
She took it. We have an hour.
Yep. You do. Okay.
Everyone, I want to try something. Everyone with me, please.
Okay.
So, like, hold out one hand.
Grab a pastry, like, from the thing and head over.
Okay.
Need a second one.
Not to eat it, right?
No, not to eat it.
Okay.
I'm peckish, guys.
I'm so hungry.
So you obviously took the small tool to turn it with because it's not fixed yet. How much do you try and turn it?
Let's see. Barely a single turn. Went a couple hours. I just really want to see what happened, like, in the middle of the night.
Okay. So you're just going
Like
to try and guesstimate?
Probably like another click further, because when I tried to use it previously, one click was a few hours, and it's about noon now. So let's go, like, see if I can target to, like, somewhere between 8 and 12.
You know, I'm a tinkerer, right?
I've already used this little,
Okay.
So, all right. This is a beautiful instance of forgetting props that are left out that players can use and having it used against you.
And you brought it back up this session.
I brought it back up this section when I didn't have to. So this is not where I expected this to go, and this is amazing. This is why we love D&D. One of the many reasons that we love D&D. So you all see Sanni holding this very intricate, beautiful stopwatch. It's a little oversized for a stopwatch, but it's just a gorgeous timepiece. It does feel very ancient, though. It's not really rusted or anything. It just, the design of it, the style of it feels old. It's not anything that you're used to seeing, and it has bits of dust in the glass faceplate that shouldn't be there. And there isn't a chain on it, and there isn't even a knob in the top. Sanni has like this little very shiny chrome tool jammed in it that kind of looks like a trident, and that's what she's using to manipulate the watch. Looks like something that was from Matilda's shop, because you were up there and it was on the desk.
Cass saw me grab it.
Yeah. And so Sanni goes, and you hear the watch start clicking loudly, rapidly, and you all see the room dissolve into dust around you. You don't feel the telltale lurch of teleportation or anything, but everything just turns bright gold and falls to the floor, and you're standing in darkness for like a couple breaths. And then all of the dust rushes back up to reform the room, and you see replays of people moving around through the room as it seems to like take you back in time. And you're going to watch this for a couple minutes, and you're just going to see like this gnome lady running in, grabbing a bag of flour, going out, and you're going to see like all these bodies and stuff, and it's very hard to keep track of. And eventually it slows down and gets to a more normal rate, still slightly sped up, but like 1.25 times speed. And it's dark outside. Nobody seems to be in here right now. And while you can see everything, it feels like you're really out of step with it, and you're just kind of watching.
It was showing me. Use it, you can happened in a place before.
Doesn't feel like, you all feel fine, but...
Can I see that? I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm not gonna...
No, it's fine. Here, it's feel it ticking. Once the ticks catch up, it will put us back where we were.
Okay, I'm just going to stare at this thing. Fascinated.
Yeah, do an investigation roll.
10.
So even with that, the main thing that you're going to take away from it is immediately, yet again, you're going to think of your dad. You're going to think of Chromebeard, because he had a couple things in his shop that had this style of gearwork and construction on it, and it's really, really, really old gnome craftsmanship. Thousands and thousands of years old. It is a relic of a bygone time. And
Matilda isn't a gnome, right?
No, Matilda's an Eladrin. Okay, So yeah, you can look at it, and you can just feel it metronome tick, 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 tick in your hand. It is going faster though, 1.25 times. The hands aren't moving either, but you can feel the mechanism inside ticking, which seems to be the important part. And yeah, you're all standing there. Nothing's in the room right now, but everything has that weird kind of gold particle sheen to it, and you can move around somewhat freely.
When I used this before, I was able to walk around the area. We can investigate what was happening here last night.
Okay.
They see us.
No, they don't perceive us at all.
Okay.
And plus, we're invisible, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that too.
I think right about now I'm not invisible, actually.
Yeah,
You're probably not in reality, but right now you can just see each other like normal.
All right. Let me show you the body barrel.
Okay. So you take him over to like the glitter
Yeah.
area. Yeah. So that looks like it did before, but there's less barrels and they're all capped right now. So obviously they had received a shipment at some point or moved some around or opened them. But you still smell the smell mostly from the glitter that's on your arm. But other than that, you're not really picking anything up from the environment. But you can see them and you can see that the arrangement has been changed.
Able to interact with things?
Sometimes, not all of it. It was weird. There were things that I could interact with and that could see me, and then, like, people could not.
I immediately reach over and try to grab the lid off of one of these barrels. So
Your hand goes through it like a ghost.
Okay, so that might be full of dead bodies. I don't know.
Take a look around. Nothing should be able to perceive us right now. Whatever it is that's coming might get to him.
Fantastic.
Well, I think they're doing it to this stuff, so why don't we just watch this stuff? Baseball.
Fireworks. Yeah.
Fireworks outside, apparently. With our
But
windows
if you're
open.
ever in the Reno area, check out the Aces. On
Yes.
Friday night, they do fireworks.
Yes.
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, fireworks just went off out of the inside the window. So loud. Sorry, guys. As Sanni's talking, you actually hear footsteps start to patter down the hall, and they're moving at that odd accelerated rate. A couple moments later, the dwarf actually comes through the door and walks right through Sanni, and you see like Sanni like kind of disperse and go back like very fast. Sanni's still Sanni and everything, and he goes over to the barrels and cracks one open and seems to be inspecting it, and you can all see the glitter, and then he puts the lid back on, hikes it up, and walks out with it to the kitchen.
Can we follow him?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do that.
I'm going to stay behind where the barrel was.
You can, yeah. So Half Pint's gonna hang back with the barrels. You guys like walk out, and it's kind of surreal. Feels like you're on like a rocking ship a little bit to find your footing at first, but eventually you get it, and it kind of fades away. And he takes it into the kitchen, and it looks like he's back there by himself, and he's cooking. So he puts it up on one of the tables. He takes a cup of it, he throws it into a bowl, and he just starts working. And it seems like he's the only one. He's kind of humming a jaunty tune to himself, and just seems like he's working away.
I'm a jaunty tune when you're cooking with people. Gotcha.
I'm gonna look for the invasive bitch.
Sondheim, write our campaign.
Gaspard is gonna basically look for a basement of any kind.
Okay, roll perception or investigation.
Okay, and I am kicking doors open if I can actually physically touch them.
I think you mostly just kind of kick through them.
Yeah, you kick through them.
Damn. You said perception or investigation?
Yes.
10?
10? Yeah, so you can spend a few minutes wandering around. It doesn't seem like there's any sort of like basement here. You do find a small room next to the storeroom, and it seems like it has cleaning supplies and stuff in it, but you hadn't noticed it before. It does look like there's a lot of dark tracks on the ground from something leading out to the alleyway as well.
I'll follow those then.
Okay, Sonny?
Gaspard, where are you going?
Oh, you know, just looking for the one that came inside my head.
So Sonny's gonna go with Gaspard.
Okay. Yes.
I'm going to keep poking around, looking for other rooms,
Okay.
storerooms or whatever.
Okay. Perception or investigation. So when you get to the, well, Cass is rolling that. When you get to the door that leads outside, you can't interact with it, but you find you can walk through it.
Sure.
So you and Sanni can walk into the back alley, and you step into this dark a starlit night. You can see everything around you. There's a couple houses. It seems like there's a lot of wheel marks into the ground, very well worn back here. There's a wagon right there that has parked, doesn't have any animals with it. It has a whole bunch of supplies in it. And you notice in the distance, if you look out towards like where you were window shopping, it's a sea of gold sparkles. Kind of like a barrier or something like that, or the limit of the stopwatch's power. But you two are in the alley. What did you roll?
16.
16, okay. Yes, so as you're walking around, those two have popped outside, half pints standing in the room. You don't see anything, and you do a really nice like serpentine pattern through the whole building, not seeing anything. Eventually you get back to where Half Pint is, and as you're walking in and you see Half Pint standing there, you notice that there is a small latch in the ceiling in the storeroom.
Half Pint. Want to go check out the attic?
There's an attic.
Look at the latch up there.
Can I reach it?
You can, your hand goes through it.
Can I? I can't go up there.
But we know it's going to be there once we get back into our time. I bet there's dead bodies up there.
Does it smell like dead bodies are coming from the ceiling?
The only smells in here are coming from you guys because it's a vision. So you can't smell anything new, but you can smell like your arm and like your sweat and stuff like that, or any perfume you have on, but you can't smell new smells.
Cool.
You did notice that your hand vanished into the attic when you put it up there. It's just you couldn't grab the door.
What if? Want to get on my shoulders? I'll just
Probably easier than you getting on my shoulders.
Yeah, I think I can just like throw you through the ceiling.
Let's start with me climbing on your shoulders, and then we go to throwing.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to climb up on Half Pint's shoulders and try and stick my head through the ceiling.
It's okay if you jump on me a little bit. I'm pretty. I got broad shoulders. It's good.
What type of armor are you wearing? Not important right now.
Yeah, not important.
Half Pint's actually strong enough where cast shouldn't be an issue, even with the armor.
No, it's just funny.
No, it is funny, yeah. Well, if you saw this, Cass is going to be up on her shoulders eventually, and it's going to be that beautiful sort of multicolored autumn leaf armor, and it's just going to be like going down around Half Pint. So it would be a very funny sight to walk into.
Yeah.
So as you climb up on Half Pint's shoulder, you do have enough height between the two of you, especially from Half Pint, and I mean, you're not short yourself. You're able to stick like this much of yourself into the attic, like through the floor, like actual like in it kind of thing, and easy enough. You just pop up into it, like there's no floor there or anything, and you look around and you see a lot of candles flickering, and it seems like it is very finished like the rest of the store, but this is more of a older building up here. You look around and you actually see some cracks in the roof. You see some cracks in the roof, and you can see out into starlight, which is weird because this building looks nice from the outside, but you just kind of like look around and realize that here in the attic, this looks like a really old shack, and it's rotted and falling apart, and really doesn't give you a good vibe. And as you kind of twist around on Half Pint to look, behind you, you see this creature sitting there in what best for it could be described as a meditative pose, and it's in the middle of a very large set of sigils, holding a black stone in its hand, muttering to itself, rocking back and forth. It's got really short horns, very long, dark, black matted hair. Its skin is purple. Its hands have really sharp talons on it. It looks weathered beyond belief to the point of not recognizing what it used to be. It's wearing dark, tattered robes that have fallen apart and been replaced over time. It has skulls hanging on a belt around its waist, and it is just sitting there rocking back and forth while it's mumbling into this.
What do you see?
I'm going to throw myself off of... Okay. Do I by chance recognize what that creature was?
You could roll a history check. To leave you on that for a second, too, what about out in the alley?
I guess I investigate. Once I realize I can't go any further, I investigate the wagon to see if any of these cultists are there or what the supplies are.
Okay. Awesome! Thank you guys for the raid.
Everybody,
Hi.
hello!
Welcome to the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We're a weekly D&D stream put on by... Oh, wait, who did? Rolling Warlock, thank you so much for the raid. This is the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We are a stream that is part of Mythical Family, and we do a weekly D&D actual play on Sundays. Local group out of Reno, Nevada. So thank you guys for raiding, and stick around. We're about 30-40 minutes away from wrapping up for the night, in the middle of a interesting hunt right now. So thank you for raiding. So the wagon outside, you're gonna just kind of climb into it and look and see if you see anything weird in this kind of vision playback?
As much as I can, being incorporeal.
Okay. Well, you kind of just walk through the wagon, but you can look around inside of it. Sanni, are you gonna go with, or are you doing anything different?
I think mostly going to keep an eye on what was trying to figure out what caught Gaspard's interest out here, and now that I'm out here, while Gaspard is looking like for what's in the wagon, I'm kind of just trying to see if there's any clue of where this wagon came from. Like, are there other people working with them, for example?
Oh, okay. So the wagon seems pretty generic. It seems like, just your everyday run of a wagon. This one is probably one that you can rent because it's in really good shape. No animals nearby or anything else like that. But on the side of the kind of white canvas top on the wagon, it does have a symbol. It's not one that you recognize off the top of your head, but it's going to be easy enough to remember or jot down because you still have access to the things that you took with you in this vision. And it looks like a spade with an X through it, and then there's a big kind of like raw painted circle around it. And it's all one color, which is just kind of a light orange.
Okay, spade with an X and a circle. Gotcha.
Yep, and it has that, and then just says supply company. So, looks pretty official for the most part. As you're walking around the playback vision of this wagon, you see it is full of these weird half kegs of glittery powder, or you assume. It's the same keg, none of them are opened or anything like that. And in the back, there is someone in those dark red purple robes, like just leaning up against the side, loudly snoring inside the wagon.
Is it one that I recognize?
No, you can't really see their face because they're kind of squished up against the side with the hood drawn over, but just one of the cultists sleeping in the back as far as you can tell.
So you're not the bloody Dream Eater. The footprints, I take it, go outside the vision range.
Well, so what you saw was like dark trails of things being dragged inside the building. So probably the supplies constantly being moved in and out kind of thing. But you don't see any footsteps in the immediate area. It's mostly cobblestone anyway, so.
So the ghoul dust is from outside?
Rather than trying to make ghouls here.
I figure it's a private location. Nobody wants to know how the baked goods are made.
Well, I mean, other than the four of us.
True. Good point. Couldn't have stolen my dreams.
Okay, so you both gonna head back inside?
Yeah.
All right. What was your roll? 12. Okay. So you came crashing down, kind of popped back up, I assume, and then had your conversation. So.
Oh, we're gonna have the conversation. Just when Half Pint asked, "What did you see?" I want to know if I can say a blank or if it's just like something horrific.
You know it's some type of hag.
There's a hag up there.
Spooky. I try to climb on like anything tall enough to stick my head through the attic.
But what if, I think Sanni said that like some things can maybe perceive us. What if it being a monster magic thing can perceive us? And then we get eaten because it's a projection thingamabob and we're in a projection and it's just like
But I'm not dreaming, so it should be fine. It's dreams. I'm like trying to get up there as hard as I can.
Sadly, nothing but Cass is solid, as far as you can tell. But as you're like struggling to be like, I need to see this, you hear a click and the door swings down and it drops down. So it does seem like it has some kind of a different set of sparkles around it, some kind of a magical aura that is present for it. And you now see it in its full grotesque glory. And you notice that it has band-aids kind of like wrapped around its hands, its feet. It's very hunched. And currently its eyes are solid black. And it hits the ground, kind of sinks into the ground a little bit, and then pops back up and just starts lumbering out.
Doesn't look at us?
No, doesn't.
Okay.
Walks right through you.
Would I recognize any of that from like my studies?
History check.
Okay. I'm gonna be good. There we go. 14.
14?
Yeah.
You concur with Cass's assessment. You don't know exactly what type, and the thing that sticks out to you is just how deformed it is, because people always, there's all the rumors and the stories that they tell to scare children about hags, and hags are horrible creatures, but they still have some element or trace of humanity in them. And whatever this is, it's not that kind. It is a monster. It has lost all of its humanity. It doesn't even, you don't even know if it would be able to carry a conversation at this point, because it looks so animalistic. Maybe, who knows? But it just does not match the stories that you've ever heard. But you can see it's a hag. And you notice that it has a very dark bag around one waist, like made of black leather, and it's holding a black stone in one hand. And it starts to walk out and is going to pass through the two of you, like, as you come inside, so you both see it as well.
That was it.
Did you also
I
notice,
figured that was it.
looking up through the latch, that there's, it's a shack. We're not in a nice building.
And you two will walk in it with that, so.
Was a shack?
Yeah,
This doesn't look like a shack. Sonny, why is it a shack?
And you can all see, yeah, if you look up through the
Matilda
trapdoor, it
said
looks...
that there was like a very old, rundown bookstore here before.
Was it a spooky bookstore?
It wasn't very spooky. It was just very old and falling apart.
Sonny, is this the building that your gods warned us about?
I think it might be.
But there aren't like weird blobby things coming out of it.
Well,
Not
those were
yet.
being summoned.
By the hag?
They might have been. I think she made the zombie things.
She eats dreams and makes zombies.
Likely.
I don't like that, and I
don't like it either, and I don't want it to stay in this town another night.
And I don't like that it was feasting on Gaspard.
I don't either. And Gaspard takes out like a script book, and there was this play, Sanguine, about witches, and they typically work in a coven. So if there's only one of them, I doubt it's something we can't handle.
Only one name was given by the creature.
Daggeth?
Yes, Daggeth said that it was her town to feast on as she pleased.
She feasted on the wrong dream.
She's a hag.
I'm just very surprised at how take charge you are right now.
Let's just say I was reminded of a time where I was very similar to being a cat. It wasn't exactly pleasant.
I see.
You all hear the faint sound of mumbling coming from the attics as you're talking, and there's like a lull in the conversation. You're the only one that'll recognize it, but you all hear sounds from the attic.
What is that?
Oh, it's... Sorry, what was the mumbling? Because I thought it was the hag.
Yeah, you still hear it up there.
That sounds like the hag.
There's more than one.
Not likely.
Housepint, can you give me a boost?
Yeah.
Well, you said it was, incorporeal.
It sent out a projection, yes.
That's
Could be
probably
it.
what walked by us.
Oh.
Let me see, I'll be sure.
You're gonna boost her up?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you get boosted up by half pint, and you pop into the attic and you see the same thing Cass saw, and it does look like there's a single hag up there sitting, meditating on this black stone in their hands.
And basically looks like, not like it's a similar hag, it's the same hag
the
that
same
just walked
hag.
out by.
The same hag. Yep.
I think yes, it's yes.
Yes, exactly, as I'm taking the crossbow and... So...
Gaspard.
I don't think you can do that here.
How fast is that thing ticking? We probably are almost out of time.
How fast is it ticking?
You, with your experience, especially around machinery, you can tell it's been steadily increasing, so it's getting faster.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Where are we going to... Let's bring it here. She means...
It's in the attic. Maybe
Well,
we
it-
should just
it-
kill it
it-
before she gets back.
No, it's...
No. It's chasing, like, you think, like, the actual physical thing is chasing her, or do you think it's, like, the illusion?
I heard scraping on the wall.
We
So
should
it can't
definitely-
hurt to check the attic and see.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not exactly awake.
Maybe we could wait for it there. So it's like, oh, I'm safe in my home turf. And then we're like, bam. we got you.
Invisible.
Yeah.
We could always burn this place to the ground. The guards would then come and maybe handle
No,
this
the-
whole situation for us.
That will hurt the gnome lady. The gnome lady needs a job. You can't just burn
The
down. where
gnome lady
gnome
is
lives.
serving people to people.
She doesn't know that.
She should
I
work
only
somewhere
saw-
else.
I only saw
I'd
a dwarf
work-
here.
I'm just saying it would behoove us if we would make sure that this is not only our problem, since we're helping out Orashire.
But Gaspard, don't you have a personal stake in this, and you want to feel like really heroic in having overcome this hag by yourself? I mean, with our help.
I definitely emulate a archetype.
It's what Mummy would do.
So we're not burning this hellhole to the ground.
Not yet. Because I think
Oh, but
it'll
it's
just
on the
make it
table.
move.
Going to burn one structure, or are you going to burn this entire district?
I don't want to burn the district.
It doesn't matter what you want.
There, more harm than good.
Question
Wands
for-
and things can be rather difficult.
Using the cards.
Yes!
So
Yay!
question for Joe about
using our safety
something
system cards, yes.
Cass might want to do later. Can I imbue Gaspard with heroism later?
I wouldn't stop you, no.
Excellent.
Okay.
I don't know, just to make sure I can't cast spells.
I like it.
How dare you buff my character?
Although,
Well, this one is more like, making you not
Mind control,
frightened.
yeah.
Yes.
In a way.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's it, Sonny?
just thinking, it's like, crap, but we need to know if she's going upstairs or down here.
I have snare.
I was thinking,
You think
hag
snare will
has
get
to
a
be
hag?
able to speak to do her magic.
Well, I could always go back into my nasally voice and just have a conversation with my illustrious master.
Matilda's not the one who gets here first.
Wait, you can talk to Matilda.
Maybe.
Can
you?
Can you tell her to not? What do you want, Sonny? What do you want?
We just need to know where she's going.
Hey, Matilda. We found the hag's lair. Where do you plan to be when you get here?
So, you don't feel anything because it was a one-time telepathic link with a respond option, but you think it really hard, and you can tell that the magic isn't going anywhere, especially in the vision.
Yeah, that's not working.
I had a feeling.
But, Gaspard, you're telepathic. Could you try and reach Matilda?
I mean, if I could, that'd be very useful, but unfortunately I would need to connect with it's a proximity thing.
How close do you have to be to connect?
Pretty close, honestly. I'm not exactly the most talented, I'll be honest.
That's why you're an intern.
Not today, Cass!
Oh my god, I love this arc so much. All right.
Hopefully she gives us a warning.
Yeah, so I am... well, either way, I don't see any harm, and I am a despicable follower with no mindset of myself, with sunken features, and just truly unattractive as I change back into this gentleman.
The one, the corpse from before?
The corpse from before.
Perfect.
Before the watch winds down, I think you should stay on my shoulders so that you can keep an eye on the hag and see what it does.
If the projection left, I think that...
If you were on the shoulders while the projection ended and we're no longer incorporeal and you're halfway through the floor,
I'd
would
rather not find out.
What if I throw you at like the perfect time?
When I came out of this last time, I had moved to the other room.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to find out what happened.
No reason we
I am
can't just blow up the door.
Transposed.
All right, well, I do have a wand, by the way.
Well, good, because I think... Talking.
Keep it from talking. I assumed I was going to have a delightful little conversation with my new master.
I mean, if you wanted to have a conversation, something about back.
Duly noted and appreciated.
Why?
Because I'm going to deny her the use of her voice.
Okay, you
Maybe
can hear
keep
the...
that in your back pocket.
You can all hear the The stopwatch is now making rapid ticking sounds that are so loud it's obvious to all of you.
It's almost done.
You probably have about a minute or so left. Is there anything you want to do while you're in this vision?
Just look around for a good spot to come back out of it, since I know it teleports you to wherever you were standing when the vision ended.
So you're still in the same room where you triggered it right now because you're all back in the storeroom by the barrels, but
Are we still invisible?
you don't know.
Okay.
We can see each
Because I
other.
don't want to be.
You can still see you can all see each other ever since that stopwatch got twisted. You have no idea how that ridiculous thing works or what it's going to do to you when you snap out of it.
Okay. Okay.
So are you all just going to kind of pop into the middle of the storeroom? Are you positioning yourselves? How are you doing this?
I think it's probably popping in.
Okay. So the time expires, and you hear one very loud last click that kind of goes through all of your heads. Like the stopwatch couldn't have done that. That felt like telepathy or something. But you just kind of wince from the click that happens, and the same kind of dust thing. The whole room swirls into dust this time instead of dropping, and moments later you're just back where you left, and the ceiling hatch is closed. Everything's quiet. It's like no time has passed. You are all visible to each other at this point, so you can assume you're not invisible anymore, but you're just standing in the storeroom.
I open the hatch.
Yeah, reach up, lace a finger through, click, falls down. Same kind of like view up into the old falling apart shack and the starry night, well, sunny bright day outside in this case. But you don't hear anything from up there.
I don't see anything. I don't hear anything.
No, just from the square on the ceiling, you don't.
I try to hoist myself up there.
Yeah, you can with some help if you get somebody to help you.
I'll help.
Okay,
hoist.
yeah, you can hoist yourself up and climb into the attic without any major difficulty. And once you're up there, it reeks of death just as much as the room below. You see intricate runes carved into every inch of this thing, floor, ceiling, all of that. And it's empty. You see a pile of rags in a corner, you see some books in another, you see a pile of skulls in the middle of the room that have kind of black tar that is coating them. No windows, the only light's coming from the cracks in the ceiling.
Right. I probably shouldn't have come in here alone. It's very spooky. Sanni, do you want to come up? Gaspard, does someone want to come up here with me?
I'll come take a look.
I reach a hand down and I help Sanni up.
Sanni weighs like nothing. You're fine.
Yeah, Sanni gets pulled up and just into the room very easily. Sanni sees everything as well, and it's kind of nauseating, the feeling. Even Half Pint will feel this. You're really going to feel it. The type of magic that is coating this shack, this level, is sickening to the core. And when you get up here, it just kind of hits you of just how foul the magic is that probably hides this place from everybody's sight, and whatever rituals have been done up here.
Gaspard, I think we gotta light it on fire.
Yes!
What is Gaspard, do you have that wand still?
I do.
And down through the hole.
Toss it up.
You know about magic though. Like, can we just are these runes conjuring her? Can we just scrape them away?
I think they're protections.
You can go look.
Yeah.
Okay, Arcana.
19.
Nice. So going over, they are a mix of sigils, runes, all sorts of different things. You don't really know exactly what spells they are, but they are arranged in very classic rune theory that typically involve protection or a illusion. They're all illusion in general, so you're pretty sure they're more this place and not so much anything to do with the Hague itself.
I think it's just protecting the building. Look at the runes and see if I could find like the best one possible to point this wand at.
Considering how all of them branch out from the center point with the skull, and you think you'd hit the whole room if you fired it at any point almost, but you'd want to destroy the middle.
You might want to go back downstairs.
Then I can't help you.
You can help me get back down in a moment.
Okay. I drop down through.
Easy enough.
Just because the only thing magical that I'm actually carrying with me right now is my book, and my book is basically impervious to dispel.
Yeah, it's not gonna. You're one of the few people where this is gonna be fine.
And then just aim right at the altar and.
Cool. So the same kind of like heat wave distortion blasts out from it. The dispel magic whirls over, smacks into the skulls, actually blows them apart for some reason, like it has force to it, and these opalescent swirls spill out from it and fill the whole room up, and you feel the entire attic go like that, and then and it feels like the building's starting to fall apart with you at the top of it. And underneath, all of you see the walls buckle on that side and then start to buckle again, and the whole building starts to come apart.
It's just looking old and decrepit like it used to be now.
Yes, but it also feels like some of it's collapsing.
Okay, Sanni, come down here.
I'm jumping down.
Yeah, I grab her.
So Sanni jumps down, and you're able to just kind of catch her. And especially with the weight strength difference, you won't need to make a roll for that. But the building continues to change around you, the bright colors bleeding away into the floor, everything turning into dark, rotten wood, and you see bugs, you see different kind of like creatures skittering under the floorboards, and it feels like at least part of the attic is about to fall.
I am ushering everyone out, making sure they are getting out.
You see Gaspard putting a lantern back in his backpack, like, oh, I guess we're not burning the place down, all right.
I'm grabbing that barrel and trying to get out the door with it.
Oh yeah, you can just pick one up.
Yeah.
It's super easy for you to pick one of those up. So you tuck one under an arm, and are you guys going out the back door?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
closest.
Closest door, but wanted to check. Okay. So you're able to push it open. It's not locked from the inside. And you guys tumble out into the alley, which is that, by the way. And
Watching this.
so you guys run out into the alley. Do you leave the door open?
I don't think anyone's in a rush to slam a door closed on
Yeah,
the
no,
cloud.
So you guys are just
Yeah.
running. Cool, that's what I thought. So as you look behind you, whenever you choose to, you now see a very large shack, the one from your vision for sure, and you watch as this old decrepit pointed, the top, like the attic portion of it, continue crashing down until it's floor level, and most of it kind of caves in on that. There's probably still a lot of it that could technically be walked through. Maybe the front of it's in better shape, but gone is the beautiful Invisible Vial bakery from earlier, and there is just this decrepit-looking old shack in the middle of the Orashire market district, with all of you standing in the alley as kind of some of the gross black dust blows at you that comes out the door. It just, smoke and dust and stuff like that.
Do it now. Light it up. We already took it down. Let's light it up.
It's destroyed. There's no point.
No, there are runes in there. Light it up.
I disabled them all. That's why
I don't trust it. Light it up. Light it up.
No, let's...
I think we've drawn enough attention by the guards.
I think the guards are on their way.
You do hear bells going off in the distance and quite a lot of yelling. So,
Light it up.
Don't, please.
They're already coming this way anyway.
Sonny's looking at the rooftops.
yeah, if you don't, nothing yet.
Yeah, we should probably hang around for Matilda and the hag to show up.
Yeah, if that's on fire, the hag has nowhere to go, so we should just light it up.
It's going to go wherever she goes.
If we're looking for...
Well, Matilda won't go into a fire.
Not going to go into a collapsed building either.
What you looking for, Gaspard?
What's something Matilda-esque? An animal? Anything that we could think of? Yes! I cast a silent image into the sky, and as big as I can, I create an octopus just floating up there.
Okay, wait, so this is just this...
It's just you're making giant skywriting Heta.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you're using the exact spell Silent Image, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that you can... Does it actually have a size
attention to
restriction? 15-foot cube.
15
We just
foot
drew
cube.
a lot of attention.
Okay, so you're just going to make a... Are you going to use Heta as a reference?
it's gonna be
Okay.
Heta.
Yeah, so you just summon this wiggling, semi-transparent octopus in the sky as you hear another range of screams erupt.
and exactly as it pointed out Sanni, it's pointing down to us.
With all the tentacles. Okay.
I think she'll
But
be
a
around
fire
soon.
is too much.
A fire might burn down other people. Look, I have a
Fire
conscience.
might look natural. This is not natural.
We're not worried about natural right now.
No, we're worried about luring it back.
Worried about the great fire of Orashire.
There are other buildings nearby that could catch fire if you set a fire. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could do it if you want to.
I've
but
already telegraphed our location. We're fine.
You have telegraphed your location. As you're all standing there talking about this, you hear, I would say, a somewhat familiar sound. A couple things are about to happen. I'm going to need to make some really critical dice rolls. Give me a perception check from each one of you, please.
Ooh.
And I've kind of, on top of this perception check, the way that I'm picturing it is you guys ran outside, decent way away in this little back alley that we have minis over here for our battle cam. You ran out, turned around, looked at this thing, and you stayed pretty close together. So you're like pretty much where you're sitting at the table right now. No reason to be otherwise positioned unless you tell me. Okay. Perception check, Cass.
22.
Same?
20.
Damn.
6 as I'm just loving my work.
Fair.
I mean, yeah, you're just like, wow, I've never really tried to max this out with an octopus in the air. Why haven't I done this for shows before? This would have been drawing such a bigger crowd than last time. So, the three of you immediately hear a telltale off to the side, and you all identify it as the unique sound that tends to follow both your companion, now that you've been hanging out with Vander for a little bit, and Matilda's teleportation. So you all kind of look over to the side with the alleyway that looks out to the marketplace, and coming right at you, you see the cloud, Matilda come out of it. Well, you see an individual come out of it, and you see the hag behind them. Couple feet behind on all fours, charging at Matilda. Matilda is running towards all of you, and you assume it's Matilda because this individual is the same height, used the same magic, and is wearing all of Sanni's clothes, down to the bags and like everything. The face looks Matilda-esque with the same ears. The skin is a much lighter blue. They don't have normal eyes. Their eyes are really bright, beautiful, kind of neon pink blown pupils with bright glowing aqua blue around them. She has sharp teeth, and she has really nice ivory horns that go around, and she just seems off. It does not look like the beautiful blue Eladrin that you saw earlier, but she's wearing Sanni's clothes and kind of has Matilda-esque vibes, and she's running right at your group, and you notice that she has the stone in her hand. And she has a mad look on her face of like, I'm getting away with this for the moment, I am terrified, and the three of you also notice that she is bleeding somewhat profusely from one of her arms and her neck on this side, leaving an interesting trail of like blue and red. And she runs at you all. And here comes the best roll of the night, for me at least. I'm going to leave that there for proof for my players later. So as this individual is running at your group, she reacts and throws the stone at Gaspard. And you hear in Matilda's voice, it's definitely Matilda's voice, catch! Make a dex check.
Save or check?
Well, dex check, yeah. Dex save, dex save because you're having it thrown at you.
Okay, that'd be a 12.
A 12?
I'm holding a crossbow after just casting a spell.
I know.
And staring at your octopus.
Yes.
He throws the stone out. I assume Gaspard tries to catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with, well, like, maybe crossbow in one hand going for it or
I
something
think
like
it's
that.
slung, so I think it's just like drops it.
It goes right through your hand and beans you in the face.
Of course it does.
You just, as it like cracks you in the face, but you do have time to reach down and pick it up if you want.
Is it magical?
It's the stone you all saw her with before.
I take off my now orange cloak and quickly, like, I just grab it off like a towel and just grab it with that.
Okay, because this is happening, like, this is like not even a round of combat, because like Matilda comes out of the cloud, is being chased, throws the stone, like this hasn't even been 6 seconds yet, so like, yeah, you get beamed in the face and you're gonna go down and try and like cover it with the cloak or something like that?
Just like hand through cloak pickup.
Okay.
Just not touching it directly because I saw the hag holding this, so it's like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Okay.
Just like Gandalfing it.
Yes. That's a very good visual. I love that. So you can see Matilda whines as it hits you in the face, and she just blows right past all of you. Like, she is going probably with haste or something on her with how fast she is moving, and you hear her, like, as she's running through the middle of you, she specifically looks at Sanni and says, sorry, and then poofs out again in another cloud, and the hag list kind of slides to a halt, specifically looking at you and the stone.
Meow, meow, motherfucker! I'm like bleeding through my
Yes,
nose
yes.
and look like this other guy.
Yes.
You don't need heroism at this point.
You still have your wand?
The
Does it
hag-
still work?
Sonny has the wand.
The hag tilts its head at you and just growls, revealing rows of razor-sharp black teeth. This is where we would normally roll for initiative, but I think that's where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. After that line.
I just want to say I step immediately in front of Gaspard as soon as I see this thing coming for his face.
Yep,
Like,
just step in front of him.
Yeah.
You do notice the hag looks somewhat beat up itself, and there are these weird kind of like crystalline spears that are like semi-transparent. Like one semi-transparent, one looks like it's made of cobblestone, one's made of dirt, and they're sticking out of the hag in different areas, like it was impaled on these spears.
Kind of like that zombie I showed y'all.
Yeah, like one of the zombies that you saw in the alleyway that had the weird crystalline like spear through it that was still holding it to the wall. So it looks like the hag has taken a few blows from Matilda. Matilda looked pretty rough in general as she poofed out the other side, but she got it to you, and you have the stone that it's really interested in for some reason right now. After that line that'll go down in infamy. Infamy! So I think, sadly, oh God, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave at all. That we're going to have to end it there for the night because we usually wrap up around 10. But I wanted to say thank you to everybody that rated us and stuck around. Thank you to any new friends that we made at RageCon or kind of the different things we've been doing around town as Mythical Family. Hope that some of the wonderful people we met from RageCon are here. To all the friends and family that have stuck around for our crazy little project and our crazy little stories. We've tried to figure this out. Thank you again for coming by. We're still moving to a new studio soon here in the future once the new studio is up and running, and it's eventually going to be a community center downtown, and we're going to have a lot of cool community activities that people can come down there. It's going to be very much like a maker space. We're going to have lots of games. Mythical Family does a lot of things. It's not just going to be D&D. Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern was just lucky enough to be one of the first things that Mythical Family started, but it's all about creating an inclusive, safe educational space for people of all walks of life, and especially nerdy people. But everybody's welcome. So we're going to be back next week, Sunday, same time, same place, so 7:30 PST here on Twitch for the next episode where we get to pick up from that, which I can't wait for. But yeah,
I have almost no magic left.
you have almost no
I have almost no magic left either. And I don't have a magical weapon.
I never got to sleep.
You didn't sleep. You've used your stuff. How's Cass looking?
I have all my spell slots still.
Hey, Sanni, how you doing?
I have a tentacle and a spell and lots of Eldritch Blasts.
Okay, this is going to be
What else do you need as a warlock?
Yeah. Well, let's hope that our party member who's been watching in horror as this has all happened. Hopefully Vandar, I think Vandar got a good sleep last night. Didn't have their prosthetic arms disabled by either dispel magic, thankfully. So hopefully Vandar is going to come save us. And if you're watching, Ray, we miss you. And we can't wait to see you next week. So in the meantime, thank you everybody for watching. Please follow Mythical Family on all the different socials. Check our website out. Come on our Discord. Talk to us. And share memes with us. But in the meantime, we will see you next Sunday on the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. Until then, goodbye. Have a good night.